Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson, and I'm going a little bit different today. I have my neighbor here in South Florida, my really good friend, Elizabeth Sommer. She is a nurse practitioner. She's certified in family practice, anti-aging medicine. She follows anti-aging medicine, integrative cancer therapies. She's a Reiki Master and also a yoga teacher. She falls under all the umbrella that you hear me do on my vlogs that I put out to you about leveling up and my knowledge nuggets that I put out. And it's be great to have a voice from somebody here that's local, because we're going to kind of talk about living where people vacation. You know, it's also kind of affectionately called Heaven's Waiting Room. They save up their whole life to come here and die, which Elizabeth's going to put out some pointers and how people that come to warm climates can really help level up their life, extend, have a better course of living. And without further ado, I'm going to bring Elizabeth on. Elizabeth, please introduce yourself to Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Turquoise, because it's like the water.
I swear to God, you are the second person today. You're my third interview. And Briella Ruelas, who I just posted on my Instagram, she coaches American Idol clients. She was a top 40 or 50 finalists in American Idol back in the OG time of 2004. And she said today, turquoise. And the reason why I do the whole color is, one, I could build all your marketing around color, you know, all your clips and stories, but also kind of gets like a personality. So why turquoise?
Because it just looks like the water. And I mean, it's very simple. I can't like dumb down that answer anymore. It's just calming. And when I go to the water, this might sound kind of snobby. If the water's not turquoise, I don't go in.
No, I feel you.
It's kind of brown and murky. I'm like, ooh, there's a lot of seaweed or maybe bacteria. It's kind of like my pressure gauge, you know? Right. That's how I assess the purity, is if it's turquoise looking, because I know that's what it should look. And if it's not looking like that, I just don't stick my foot in.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. And what's nice about where we live, Squad, is that we live about 60 miles north of Miami, maybe 70 miles north of Miami, and our water's pretty blue most of the time. Unless you're in hurricane season and whatnot. So getting into that water is great therapy, which, you know, Squad out there, you know, I'm always in the water. That's why I moved here to South Florida and why Elizabeth doesn't leave. She's around perfect weather. You know, Elizabeth is a native. That's what they call them down here, Squad, is natives. And they're the nice people. They are the ones that you don't have the edgy East Coast people. Like, she's actually nice and pleasant, and I'm so blessed to know Elizabeth. Well, let's get a little bit of your origins, Elizabeth, maybe growing up here in South Florida, and then how you kind of really leveled up into taking care of your own temple and really wanting to help other people level theirs up.
So I'm from Fort Lauderdale originally.
Okay.
Third generation Floridian, really.
Okay.
I grew up in Broward County. I went to high school in Coral Springs, went to UF, so homegrown, flow grown, and
Gators.
Total Gators. I majored in nursing.
Okay.
And I started out actually in a plastic surgeon's office after grad school. Okay. And I was doing cosmetic lasers, cosmetic treatments. And it just kind of grew from there. I knew people in the hormone and wellness industry. And so they brought me over to there. And there's introductions that go on, you know, as your career develops.
Sure.
And about 5 years ago, I did a yoga teacher training and a Reiki training, and I just fell in love with all of those items.
Sure.
And at first I was just going to use it just for myself, just because I always feel like before I can practice on a live patient, I have to do it for myself, right? I have to at least know, okay, does this really work? Am I going to enjoy this process? Because I can be pretty critical of myself. So if I don't like it, I'm not going to pass it on.
Right. You got to be passionate about it, right? Absolutely.
Right. Exactly. And I did the Reiki started out as more internal healing, like for myself.
Okay.
And it took me about 4 years to go through Reiki 1 all the way up through Reiki 3.
Okay.
And each time I went through a different class, we got different symbols to work with. There were like different layers, different attunements. And so that was another way of like leveling up.
Sure.
And it was an emotional process. I mean, I went through, there's a lot of ancestral karma I had to work on through my maternal and paternal lines, and then just past lives. You know, I could take this conversation to any level.
No,
so
let me ask you something though. with Reiki, let's dumb it down for people. Okay, because some people that don't live our lifestyle, don't know what Reiki is. So can you
it's
dumb that down?
energy work.
Okay.
So it's Japanese, Rei and Ki. So Rei is universal, Ki is light. It's universal light, universal healing light that you channel from God, divine source, whatever you want to call him or her. And it's an unlimited source.
Okay.
So you're never going to drain God of his own light or her own light. And it's usually problem specific, or if you just go in with a general question or general healing request, the answers are revealed to you. So things are revealed that might have been repressed or weren't in your awareness, in your like awareness vision.
Sure.
And so it took me about 4 years to go through level 1 through level 3.
Right.
And as I did that, that's each month almost, or every few months was like a leveling up. I felt like I was raised very much a people pleaser. Okay. So I had to let go of a lot of those patterns. Okay. And learn how to set boundaries for myself, how to
rid of the toxic stuff when you need to, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So there was a lot of blockages that I had to release and let go of. Okay. And I had to realize I'm not really in control of anything. Right. Of anyone, nothing. And when you realize you are in no control of anything in your life, that's ironically, you kind of gain control, because that sense of urgency to either achieve something or to get this house or this car or this type of relationship, a sense of urgency is really released. And once you're able to release that sense of urgency for something that may or may never happen, or was maybe never meant to happen, then it's not that you're lowering your standards. You're like at peace. It's like, okay, I'm perfect just as I am. Sure. Just in my current state.
With that being said, with it, and I love Reiki and how you dumbed it down for people even like me, you know, because I actually get Reiki work from a person named Carrie Marafino. She does hands on and then also hands off, and it's really helped level up. She's really helping me break through the surgery that I had like 10 days ago, and it's awesome. It's beautiful. But when you're saying this, like, you don't have any control, but you do have responsibilities, correct?
Yes. Okay. So for example, on the Reiki note, a responsibility of a Reiki practitioner, whatever level, is to keep your vessel as pure as possible. So you're not doing drugs, you're not smoking, you're drinking moderately, you're not putting a lot of toxicities into your body that could block your channel.
Okay. Very good.
So it might just sound like a personal responsibility, which it is, but if you're sharing that gift, that skill with the world, you owe it to the people that are coming to you for help.
I love that. That
makes sense.
Awesome. Yes. Yes.
It's your purpose. It's your Dharma.
If you owe it. Exactly. Yeah, you have that gift. It's your responsibility to pay it forward. Right.
It's your responsibility to prepare yourself and make sure that you can deliver the most light to whoever is coming into your sphere asking for help.
So what would be your definition then, Elizabeth, of responsibility?
Taking care of one's life purpose.
Love it.
Whatever that life purpose is.
Love it. You know what I always say is that I say that responsibility, and I'm regurgitating it from my mentor here, I didn't make this up. Responsibility is the ability to respond, you know, instead of react. It's rooted right in the word. I love it. So let's swing over into yoga, because yoga saved my life, literally. When I moved down here 7 years ago in 2014, I had plantar fasciitis like crazy. I've participated in combat sports, whether it's jiu-jitsu, wrestling, since I was like 4 years old. And like I had plantar fasciitis so bad. And I couldn't get it to go away. And I went to get introduced to, in Juno Beach, native yoga, Ashtanga yoga. Yes. And it changed everything. I have my mat. I have my whole area over here that, you know, I practice a minimum of 3 mornings a week, the Ashtanga. I like it because it's a more aggressive yoga. It's kind of like a bodybuilder yoga, Ashtanga meaning 8 limbs. What is your take on the benefits of yoga? And also, what yoga do you practice?
So I did my training at Native Yoga.
Did you under Todd?
I did. I did.
He's like episode like 50 something. I've been on his show as well. Love him. Love him. Okay.
Yes. So I did my training there. I love them. Love the Ashtanga. Yeah.
I probably saw you there.
You might have.
Yeah. You're up in the front. I'm the guy in the back during my tour that's like, everybody's shit, man. We got to get Ferguson deeper into his asanas and stuff like that. Work on his Tristi and pranayama. It's crazy. But anyways, go ahead. I'm sorry. This is interesting.
No, you're fine. I love yoga. I love it. Been doing it for almost 20 years. And I haven't taught a whole lot. I taught at the complex where I used to live, and I've done some private teaching, but I haven't taught yoga a whole lot, only because of my schedule. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Sure.
So for me, because I also had plantar fasciitis recently over the summer, so I did treat it medically with a Medrol dose pack and a Toradol shot, only because in the moment I had to take care of it. But moving on beyond that, I would do Ashtanga in the mornings I took a month. I didn't even go to the gym. I just did the yoga. And I realized I wasn't doing yoga enough for the past few months, only because of scheduling. We all go through that. And for me, it's the warrior poses, the warrior 1 and 2. It's this like leveling out of the hips.
Right.
That I know helps with my ankles and my feet. And when I do my vinyasas, I actually roll over my toes. It's kind of hard to explain without the visualization.
Okay, bragger, but no, I get it. I feel you.
It's the best way to open the feet. It's the best way to open those metatarsals and get that blood flowing. And I've never had X-rays on body parts. I don't know what kind of arthritis I have going on. I don't even want to know. I don't need to know. You
can treat it with yoga. I'm telling you right now. Exactly. Do it at the pace where you're able to do that. That's crazy. So, staying within the yoga, what part spiritually do you take from yoga, if any at all?
I took the quieting of the mind.
Okay.
That's what I took home. That was the first thing I took home from the teacher training. I did the teacher training not to teach, but just for myself. Again, because I got to do things for myself first.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, it was my alternative to going to India for 3 months and doing the Mysore in Mysore, India. Like I couldn't do that.
Although I hear that trip's amazing. I hear it's freaking awesome.
Maybe someday when I'm all grown up.
Right.
But for now, I did my 1 weekend a month for like a year.
No, that's cool.
And just quieting the mind and realizing that, yoga is not a religion. And I was brought up very religious.
Me too.
Conservative Christian.
Baptist, baby.
It worked for some people.
Yeah.
And I'm not criticizing it by any means, but yoga really opened my eyes to that. Spirituality is deeper than a religion. It's deeper than a building. It's deeper. It's so much deeper than anything I ever taught. And was ever taught. And it's like a truth that you only learn when you go within.
Yes.
Like there's so much spiritual truth
oh my gosh.
out there. There's so many I don't even read books anymore on spirituality. I can't because they all say the same stuff. I'm sorry. It's like somebody reinvented the wheel.
Right.
So if I want to find a spiritual truth that makes sense for me, I just meditate. I do a Reiki self-meditation. My crystals, my Antakarana, my symbols all over the place.
My crystals.
There you go.
Lodolumite, Sodomite, and citrulline. Stay next to my heart all the time.
Consult the heavens, and find a truth that maybe no one's ever heard of. I doubt it, but it's new to me.
But it's all from yourself, Elizabeth. That's the thing. Is that, like the God or the creator, you're actually a branch of that. Whatever your belief system is, you're a branch of it. So your creator's not going out and effing up his body or her body with drugs and alcohol. Why do you want to disrespect yourself and your creator, right?
When we think about it, how did the prophets in old days write their books? How did Abraham, the father of all Judaic religions, he would go to a mountain, sit by himself, and just let God talk to him. That's how they discovered those truths. And those techniques, I feel like, have kind of died out.
Yes.
Because we were taught that, religion is this, and you don't need to add to it or contribute to it. Well, no, I disagree.
Right.
I think the techniques of the ancient sages, the mages, the magi even, should be implemented still, should still be taught so that we can all, in our own way and at our own level, wherever we're at, like God meets us wherever we're at. Right?
Sure.
So wherever you're at on that day, that month, that year, in that moment, that's where God's going to meet you, and he's going to tell you whatever you need to hear. It's not about going to church and listening to what someone else thinks you need to hear.
Right.
Yes, that's good. It's not a bad thing to do. It's like free therapy, of course.
Right.
But not enough of us really connect on a daily, or at least, every couple of days basis, and just sit and let God talk to us. Like prayer is
Dude,
us talking to God. Meditation
silence is God's
talking
voice to me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's like I myself, and I work with high-end clients, and they're like, the hardest thing for them to do is take that 15-minute daily sabbatical that I require of them. I tell them it's part of my curriculum. You can't do it. I'm not the right, coach for you. And because I'll tell you what, my 15-minute sabbatical daily, it levels up everything. Because I speak, I just shut up and I listen for the answers. And that's fantastic. You brought that up, Elizabeth. So have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Yes.
Okay.
Which one?
Yeah, let's go with the first one. Let's get that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the 20-year-old Elizabeth. What kind of knowledge nuggets, we call them knowledge nuggets here at Time to Shine Today. What kind of knowledge nuggets would you drop on Elizabeth to help her maybe level up, blast through, shorten that learning curve just a little bit quicker?
I would have told my 20-year-old self that you don't have to do everything all at once. And you don't have to have it all at once. Because I was very ambitious at 20. I was very
not that you're not anymore, though. You're still very ambitious, though.
Well, now I'm kind of like, all right, if I don't do it in this life, I'll do it in the next life.
There you go. I feel you. Awesome.
If I don't have that house in this life, I'll do it next life.
There you go. Love it.
No pressure. Yeah, I would have said anything to just take the pressure off my 20-year-old self, because I would have been more in the moment and I would have been able to enjoy my youth more if I knew if I had the wisdom and the knowledge base and the patience with myself and the patience for the process that I have now.
Love it. Love it. So then how do you want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date and your expiration date, before your life date and death date. So how do you want people to remember that dash?
You mean like my life?
Everything that's lived in that dash.
Oh gosh, let's see. She was happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Seemed like a pretty go-giving kind of person, though, too. Like you want to help others.
It's my Dharma.
I love it. All right, then. So what do people misunderstand the most about Elizabeth?
They might think that I'm aggressive.
No way. Just kidding.
I'm really not aggressive. I just, I get excited. Okay. Like I get excited about certain things. I get passionate about certain things that other people either they don't know about, they don't understand. And what do people do when they don't understand something? They fear it. So I feel like some people might be intimidated or afraid of words that come out of my mouth because they're like, what? Reiki? I've never heard of that. No one's ever told me about that. What, these yoga poses are going to help my plantar fasciitis? How come my doctor didn't tell me that? Oh my gosh. Right. Yeah. That's why I started making some videos. I felt like education increases awareness and awareness reduces fear. And if people's fears can be reduced, then we're all going to kind of come to that better understanding of like why we're here and how we can help each other out.
I love that. I love it. So then what keeps you up at night?
Not much.
Good. I was hoping you were going to kind of say that because you seem real grounded and know how, because a lot of people will have that.
I don't sleep much though.
Okay. All right.
I fall asleep, but I wake up early because I'm usually awake between like 4 and 5 a.m. I don't get out of bed till about 5:30.
That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have your time.
I've got my time. I just lay there, just kind of staring at the ceiling or staring at the back of my eyelids,
I belong to the 5 a.m. club. It's like a group of people. It follows kind of Robin Sharma's. He wrote The Monk That Sold His Ferrari and great books. If you ever read them, it's fantastic. And so, I'm up, 4:45 every morning. I'm actually up within that hour and owning my day at the start, earning my sunrise, and then I'm in my jujitsu mat over at Gamblers there in Palm Beach Gardens at 7 o'clock. And then I start my day after I've taken care of my temple, my mind, and everything. So I love that you can fall asleep. That's one thing that I had a problem with and I'm getting better at, is just shutting everything off and shutting the monkey mind down. I love it. So what would Elizabeth's definition of a life well lived be?
She fulfilled her Dharma.
Love it.
Because when you do that, you don't have to come back.
Quickly educate us on Dharma.
So Dharma is your life, your divine purpose, your divine life purpose. Okay, it's not necessarily the path that you chose, because the ego leads us into other areas sometimes. Okay. Actually, most of the time. Might take the rest of our right, all the time. We spend the rest of our adult life disconnecting from that egoic path and then connecting to the dharmic path, which it might be less money or might be less prestige, but it's more fulfilling. And when we are able to fulfill our spiritual purpose and meaning on this planet, then we're getting rid of, means we're growing, we're developing. Yes. So our soul's growth is just happening by default. And we might come back.
Sure.
Right. Come back. Right. I mean, reincarnate if we choose. Right. And if we choose to, we're going to have that natural upgrade that we've always wanted. And so I feel like, because I believe in reincarnation, I believe God gives us ample lifetimes to achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve, to experience. And God is so patient with us that he gives us as many lifetimes as we need. And so that's why I would tell my 20-year-old self, like, okay, if you don't get that car, if you don't get that house on the water that you're looking for right now, don't worry about it. It's always going to be there. Like, you can come back, or you can get it. Plan, yeah. Exactly. And so the Dharma path, and this is like, it's a yogi concept also, is that it's also the path of least resistance. It's the path when you let go of that need to control, okay? And you're not letting your ego give you that sense of urgency, pushing you where you shouldn't go, because ego edges God out. Okay. Edges God out. Edges got out. EGO. That's right. Yep. So as you take that dharmic path, things open up without effort. I mean, you have to do effort, but things that you didn't think were possible open up. Yes. And that's like your confirmation. That's when God gives you confirmation that, no, you're supposed to be having this conversation or talking to this person or in this place at this time. Got it. Love it. I love that definition of it. I really appreciate you laying that out for us. And squad, we're going to take my good friend here, Ford-Sommer, through our leveling up lightning round just as soon as we get back from thanking our sponsors and affiliates. Hey, time to shine today. Podcast Varsity Squad. We are back with my really good friend and neighbor here in South Florida, Ford-Sommer. And Elizabeth, we're going to go through our leveling up lightning round. You and I could talk an hour on each one of these questions, but you have 5 seconds with no explanations. And you can answer them all in 5 seconds. Easy. You ready to rock? Oh, is it pressure? You ready? Okay. All right. Let's get a level up. What is the best leveling up advice Elizabeth's ever received? Don't feel like you need to be in control. Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success. I go to the gym every day. Every day. Love it. So if you see me and I'm just kind of walking through downtown at the gardens and you're like, man, Fergie looks like he's in his doldrums a little bit, what book would you be handing me? No book. Okay. Very good. Maybe just a smile and help me level up, right? Very good. Conversation. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text? Hearts. Love it. Chess or checkers? Checkers. Me too. I'm simple like that too. Is there any favorite charity and organization you'd like to give your time or money to? I honestly haven't, but I think the Surfrider. Oh, okay. Very cool. Yeah, Surfrider. Last question. You can elaborate on this a little bit, but what is the best decade of music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s? 90s. Yeah, you're a little after me, so I'll give you the 90s. I'm an 80s guy. So I'm coming up on 50 years old, and it's like, I miss those big hair, don't care days. I love it. Love it. And do me one last favor in our squad land, one last favor. Leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on. Heaven is life without time. Heaven is life without time? Wow. So being in the present moment is the closest we get. Well, I'm writing that down. Wow. Well, this is awesome. In squad, we really just had a free masterclass from my really good friend, Ford-Sommer here, who realized that you to realize you even through Reiki is universal light, but it's an unlimited source. You know, she wants you to keep your vessel as pure as possible. You know, don't have to be in control all the time. Let things run their course, take responsibility, and take care of your life's purpose. You know, don't try to do everything at once. Remember what we say here, inch by inch, it's a cinch. By the yard, it's hard. You know, she wants you to stay in the moment, enjoy your time, stay present. She's going to be someone that's lived a happy life, and then she was a helper along the way. You know, in what you don't understand, you fear.
And what we also see here at Time to Shine today, and with my clients, is I say, get your asking gear. Ask people. There's people out there like myself, like Elizabeth, who'd be happy to share with you. So reach out to one of us. Find a path of least resistance if there is one, because you don't want to have to push through, and then you'll end up somewhere that you didn't even want to go in the first place. And she finished up with heaven is life with, what was that again, Elizabeth? Heaven is life without time. So stay present and enjoy the time you have in on earth. And I just enjoyed this past 25, 30 minutes with my good friend Elizabeth, who levels up her health, levels up her wealth. She's humble, yet she's hungry. She's a beautiful human being. She's always helping others. Thank you so much for coming on, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Awesome. We'll talk soon.
Yes.
Love your guts.